That recurring dream you keep having? That strange symbol that appears night after night? That conversation with someone who passed away years ago? According to Ibn Siren, none of this is coincidence. Your dreams are trying to tell you something crucial about your spiritual path, but you need to know the divine language to understand the message. Most people wake up puzzled by their dreams, dismissing them as random brain activity or meaningless mental noise. But Ibn Siren, the master, dream interpreter of early Islam, discovered something extraordinary. Dreams are not random at all. They are a sophisticated communication system between the divine realm and human consciousness, a secret language that, once decoded, can reveal your future, guide your decisions, and unlock the mysteries of your spiritual destiny. Born in the Mafay, early 8th century in Basra, Ibn Sirin became the most sought-after dream interpreter in the Islamic world. Kings, scholars, merchants, and ordinary people would travel vast distances to have him decode their night visions. But he wasn't just guessing or offering generic interpretations. Ibn Sirin had discovered the precise spiritual science behind dream symbolism, a systematic method for translating divine messages into human understanding. But how did he crack this celestial code? And more importantly, how can you apply his discoveries to understand your own dreams? Ibn Sirin understood that dreams operate on 3 distinct levels. The first level is what he called reflection dreams. These are simply your mind processing the events and emotions of your day. These dreams have no spiritual significance and can be ignored for deeper interpretation. The second level consists of psychological dreams. These reveal your inner conflicts, hidden desires, and subconscious fears. While not directly divine, these dreams offer valuable insights into your mental and emotional state. But the third level, this is where Ibn Sirin's true genius emerged. He called these divine communication dreams, and he taught that these visions come directly from the spiritual realm. These are the dreams that contain prophecies, guidance, warnings, and revelations about your spiritual path. The key to Ibn Sirin's method was learning to distinguish between these 3 types of dreams. He developed specific criteria for identifying which dreams carried divine messages and which were merely psychological processing. First, divine dreams tend to be vivid and memorable. You wake up feeling like you've experienced something profound, not confused or scattered. The imagery is clear, the emotions are intense, and the dream stays with you throughout the day. Second, divine dreams often contain symbolic elements that seem out of place or unusually significant. A white bird flying in circles, a flowing river that speaks, numbers that repeat, people you know behaving in ways that seem meaningful beyond the dream context. Third, and most importantly, divine dreams feel different. Ibn Sirin taught his students to pay attention to the quality of consciousness within the dream. In divine communication dreams, you often have a sense of presence, of witnessing something important, of receiving rather than creating the experience. But understanding that a dream is divine is only the first step. The real art lies in decoding the symbolic language. Ibn Sirin spent decades cataloging the spiritual meanings of dream symbols, and his interpretations were remarkably consistent and accurate. But these weren't arbitrary associations. They were based on deep understanding of how spiritual realities translate into symbolic form. For example, water in dreams typically represents spiritual purification, emotional healing, or divine mercy flowing into your life. But the specific meaning depends on the context. Clear water suggests spiritual clarity. Turbulent water indicates emotional challenges that lead to growth. And flowing water points to movement and change in your spiritual journey. Animals in dreams represent different aspects of your soul nature. A lion might symbolize courage you need to develop. A snake could indicate hidden wisdom or potential danger. And birds often represent messages from the spiritual realm or your own capacity for transcendence. People who appear in your dreams, especially those who have passed away, were considered by Ibn Sirin to be actual spiritual encounters. He taught that the souls of the deceased can visit us in dreams to offer guidance, resolve unfinished business, or provide comfort during difficult times. But Ibn Sirin's most remarkable discovery was about prophetic dreams, visions that reveal future events. He found that these dreams speak in a symbolic language that compresses time, showing you not literal future scenarios, but the spiritual essence of what's coming. He taught that prophetic dreams often use what he called inverse symbolism. What appears negative in the dream might actually predict positive changes, and vice versa. This is because the spiritual realm operates according to different laws than the physical world, and transformation often appears as destruction from the limited perspective of ordinary consciousness. For instance, dreaming of your own death rarely predicts physical death. It usually indicates the end of one phase of your spiritual development and the beginning of another. Dreaming of losing something valuable might actually predict that you're about to receive something even more precious. Ibn Siren also discovered patterns in how divine guidance appears in dreams. Often, the solution to a problem you're facing in waking life will be presented symbolically in your dreams. The key is learning to translate the symbolic solution back into practical action. But perhaps his most profound insight was about recurring dreams. Ibn Sirin taught that when the same dream or symbol appears repeatedly, the divine realm is trying to get your urgent attention about something crucial for your spiritual development. These recurring dreams intensify until you either understand the message and act on it, or until the situation the dream was warning you about comes to pass. Ibn Sirin documented cases where people who ignored repeated warning dreams later faced exactly the difficulties their dreams had tried to help them avoid. Modern people often ask, how can we distinguish between divine dreams and our own psychological projections? Ibn Sirin provided clear guidelines for this discrimination. Divine dreams often contain information you couldn't have known through normal means. They might reveal something about another person's situation, predict an event with specific details, or provide guidance about a decision you haven't yet made consciously. Divine dreams also tend to inspire positive action. Even when they contain warnings or show challenges, they ultimately point you toward growth, healing, or service to others. Dreams that leave you feeling fearful, vindictive, or destructive are more likely to be psychological projections rather than divine communications. Ibn Sirin also taught specific practices for enhancing your receptivity to divine dreams. He recommended going to sleep in a state of spiritual purity, not just physical cleanliness, but mental and emotional clarity as well. Before sleep, he suggested making a sincere request for divine guidance about any situation where you need clarity. But this request should be made with genuine surrender to divine will, not attachment to receiving a specific answer that matches your personal preferences. He also emphasized the importance of what he called dream preparation, spending a few minutes before sleep reflecting on your spiritual goals, expressing gratitude for divine guidance in your life, and releasing any mental tensions or conflicts that might interfere with clear divine communication. Upon waking, Ibn Sirin taught the practice of immediate dream recording. Divine dreams often fade quickly if not captured right away, because their symbolic content doesn't align with ordinary logical thinking. He recommended keeping writing materials by your bedside and recording every detail you can remember, no matter how strange or insignificant it might seem. But Ibn Sirin warned against becoming obsessed with dream interpretation. He taught that not every dream requires deep analysis, and that over-interpreting ordinary psychological dreams could lead to spiritual confusion. The key is developing what he called dream wisdom, the ability to sense which dreams carry divine messages and deserve careful attention. He also emphasized that dream interpretation should always lead to positive action in your waking life. A divine dream that doesn't inspire you to become more compassionate, more aligned with divine will, or more of service to creation hasn't been properly understood. One of Ibn Siren's most fascinating discoveries was about shared dreams. When two or more people have similar or connected dreams about the same situation, he taught that these synchronized dreams are evidence of spiritual connections between souls and often carry particularly important messages about collective, spiritual work or community guidance. Modern neuroscience has begun to validate some of Ibn Siren's insights about dream consciousness. Research shows that during certain dream states, the brain exhibits patterns of activity that are remarkably similar to heightened spiritual awareness during meditation or prayer. Studies of people who practice dream recall and interpretation show increased intuitive abilities, better emotional regulation, and enhanced creativity. Exactly the benefits Ibn Siren predicted would come from engaging seriously with divine dream communication. But for Ibn Siren, dream interpretation was never just about personal benefit. He taught that people who develop skill in understanding divine dreams have a responsibility to help others decode their own spiritual messages. Dreams, he believed, are one of the ways the divine realm continues to offer guidance and support to humanity. He also taught that the ability to interpret dreams accurately is itself a spiritual gift that develops through sincere practice and divine blessing. The more you honor the guidance you receive through dreams by acting on it wisely, the clearer and more frequent divine dream communications become. Today, in our technology-saturated world, many people have become disconnected from their dream life entirely. But Ibn Siren's teachings suggest that this disconnection cuts us off from one of the most direct and personal forms of divine guidance available to human consciousness. Whether you're facing a difficult decision, seeking understanding about a relationship, wondering about your life purpose, or simply wanting to deepen your spiritual connection, your dreams may already be offering you the guidance you seek. The question is, are you fluent enough in the divine language to understand what you're being told? Ibn Siren's legacy reminds us that every night, as we close our eyes and enter the realm of sleep, we're being invited into direct communication with spiritual reality. The symbols, scenarios, and encounters we experience, they aren't just random neural firings. They're potentially profound messages from the source of all wisdom, customized specifically for our individual spiritual journey. The next time you have a dream that feels significant, remember Ibn Siren's teachings? Pay attention to the symbols, the emotions, the quality of consciousness within the dream. Look for patterns, especially recurring elements. And most importantly, ask yourself, what is this dream trying to teach me about my spiritual path? Your dreams are speaking to you in the secret language of divine communication. Ibn Siren spent his life learning to translate this language. His gift to us is the understanding that we too can become fluent in this most intimate form of spiritual guidance.